Today's topic is probability. Now we must first have a brief introduction to probability. So we, in our day-to-day life, we come across some words or some sentences that we used to encounter in our daily lives, and that is first, it will probably rain today, like that. I doubt that he will pass the test or not. Most probably, Kavita will stand first in the annual examination. Chances are high that the prices of diesel will go up. These are some sentences that we use to deal in our day-to-day lives, and we also used to speak up certain words that used to represent this meaning of probability. Probability now, what does it mean? It means likelihood. It means the favorable events, the fair chances, the pre-assumptions that we do in our daily lives. Now the probability means here it will probably rain today. Here it means it simply meant that whether it will rain today or it may not. The event is having an uncertain outcome over here. So the uncertainty is represented by this word probably. Now the second sentence you can also note this. I doubt that he will pass the test. So doubt is the word that is representing this uncertainty in this whole event, whether he may pass or may not. Now third, you can see most probably Kavita will stand first in the annual examination. So this probably again it is showing the feeling or the event, the uncertainty in the event. You can see it over here. Now, there may be a chance that someone else can achieve the first rank in the class. Then there are the chances that the prices of diesel will go up or high tomorrow or the next day. So the chances is the showing word is showing the uncertainty in the event, you can say. Now in the second case we can say that now what we do, we used to in our we all have tossed the coins in our day-to-day lives in our childhood. We used to throw the dice for playing Ludo, like that. So now we can have those examples for understanding the concept of probability. Now, the suppose tossing of coin, we can have this example, tossing of coin. Now, the number of times we can make this table, number of times coin is tossed. You know, then we used to write number of times head comes up. And third point is number of times tail comes up. So these are the three things that we used to write in this activity that we are doing now first for the first time for understanding the concept of probability. So tossing of coin is our experiment. Now we are tossing the coin for let it be for 10 times or like that, and then we note down the result. Then from 10, how many times we get head and how many times we get tail, and then we note down the results in this first case, what is all happened over here. And then secondly, what we do, we used to find the two fractions over here. That is, first fraction is says number of times, or we can say the probability of coming head in the outcome is like probability of coming the head in the outcome. That is a favorable event if you want head in the outcome. We can write it in this way. So number of times head comes up. And sec upon total number of times coin is tossed. This way we can find this probability of having head in the outcome, that is a favorable event. Now if we have to find the probability of having tail in the outcome, we can write it in this way as we are having a favorable event of having tail in the outcome. Now again we can change this fraction into this way. Now we don't want head in the outcome, we want tail in the outcome. So we can note down the results over here in this table, and then we can use these results to find out this fraction, that is number of time now tail comes up in the outcome. And again we divide it by the total number of times the coin is tossed. So this way we can say this is the first phase of our activity. Now we can change it to the second part, and what we do, we simply used to increase in the second elaboration of this event or this activity. We simply used to increase this total number of times the coin is tossed. So if we increase this trial, number of trials if we increase, we can see the change in the result. Very important result that we can note down over here. So if we increase the total number of times that the coin is tossed, that is if we increase it to up to 40 or 50, we can have the change, we can notice the change in the fractions that we find out in the later part. So again now we used to find the here also the change data will going to change in the table. In the second table we used to make another table in this way where the number of trials are changed. Now again we have to find the probability related to head and related to favorable event related to head and favorable event related to tail. So this we are having favorable event, we can find the probability that how many number of times the tail is coming up if we toss the coin for about 40 number of times, that is the number of trials have been increased to 40. And this way again we used to find the probability of having tail in the outcome. And the same way if we used to find we have to find the head probability of having head in the outcome. The probability is another word, and I'm not having a number of times head is coming up. We are finding the probability of having number of times head in the outcome. So this way we can again find the probability related to head coming up in the outcome, and we can note down the results, and then we can notice. We can we can note, you can note it down over here, and we can also I can also provide you the links related to it, and it's simply from the book. Now we can have the results in the outcomes. So if we compare the two tables, the earlier table 1 and table 2, table 1 and table 2 results. Now, the results of table 1 and table 2 can be compared over here. You can write down the results that the probability we are getting from the less number of trials, that is from the number of trials when the number of trials are 10. The probability fraction, you can note down the results, and then the number of trials are 40. So this way we can note down the results of the two fractions, and when we used to compare these two fractions, that is the probability of having head in the outcome and probability of having tail in the outcome, we used to see that as the number of trials are increased, the value of the fraction comes closer to 0.5. Both the fractions, that is of having head in the outcome and having tail in the outcome, they both are coming closer to 0.5 in this case. This is a wonderful result, you can note it down over here. And the same thing you can also try with the you can also try it with the experiment of the dice. In a day-to-day life, you can do this at your home, at your place, at your desk, at your bed. So these are the general experiments that you can do on your own. The second experiment you can do is of throwing a dice that is having only six outcomes possible. That is the number 1 to 6. And as we increase the number of trials in the throwing of dice, we can see the results and the outcome that is having number 1 in the outcome is having the probability reaching closer to 1 by 6 as the number of trials increase. Each outcome will have a similar probability reaching up to 1 by 6. That is the results that we used to deduce from this general understanding of probability today. And we can have this now experimental or empirical probability. That is P E, number of favorable events upon total number of trials of any experiment, of any act for which we are going to find the probability, of which we are going to find the probability. So this is the way empirical or experimental probability you can see. Thank you. Next we will going to understand in the next class. Thank you so much.